as a weirdo. Today I'm just catching up on orders. I haven't been really working on them. Kind of lost my Crojo, and I don't know. I'm just trying to work on things that excite me and get my Crojo back. But I need to get these orders done. I'm not pushing it to the last minute like I normally am. But you know, or like I used to. I've kind of gotten out of that habit because sometimes so many orders will come in at once, which I'm not complaining about that at all, but I've got to be better about my time management skills. So welcome in. I am working on a 5-inch packer right now, and as you can see, I am getting close to the end here. So I should be able to finish it this live, depending on how long I'm live for. I haven't really had a lot of mental capacity to keep lives going, nor have I had the lung capacity to keep talking for that long. So yeah, I'm just gonna be doing my best here, and I expect that you will do your best. Carrie, it's so good to see you. I keep seeing you go on in the morning because I'm awake in the morning now. I'm I gotta go see Carrie, and then something comes up, or I'm just, I don't know. I'm recovering from surgery, so I'm just kind of a fucking hot mess right now. But it's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. I keep on meaning to check in, so I'm sorry that I haven't, but know that you are in my heart because you are my girlfriend. So yeah, so I'm making a packer right now. I'm also some projects that have been in the works for a little while, or they're newer. You're sick. Oh no, what's going on? If you want to talk about it. If you don't want to talk about it, I understand. But if you want to talk about it, I am here. I'm sorry you're sick. I hate that. I'm not feeling great either, so we're on the struggle bus together. Currently, I feel like my organs are simultaneously doing the tango and then also being used as a punching bag. So I'm not used to having this type of internal pain, really any physical pain at all. So it's a very uncomfortable and unsettling feeling. But I'm strong. I don't know if I'm actually strong. But yeah. Oh, it's a backdoor sick. Oh, been there, done that. I have the fucking postcard. I think we bought literally every type of backdoor medicine available in stores as I was recovering from my surgery, because the anesthesia, and then the medicine that they were giving me caused all kinds of problems, as you know that they can. And then so it swung from one way, which was uncomfortable and bad, to the other way, which was uncomfortable and bad. So no matter which side you're on, I've been there very recently. So I hope that gets better soon for you, because it is no fun. It's no fun indeed. I'm so sorry. I don't know what noise that was. I don't know what noise that was. Just ignore that it happened. Let's just pretend that it didn't happen. I hope you all have been enjoying my pre-recorded videos. It is a little bit easier. I did want to just jump on while I felt okay enough to do that. Excuse me, Sarah, can you not chew on yourself? That would be great. Liquid shots. Yeah. Uh-huh. But yeah, so it's I think I know what you're saying. It took me a minute, but then I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, I was there. with you. So I really hope you start to feel better. It's not fun if you have any type of thing that starts with an H in the area. It's just like this very unhappy thing. So I really hope that you start to feel better soon. Because that's what I was dealing with. It was, it, and I kept on being like, oh, I'm gonna lose so much weight. I'm gonna be so skinny. Because I was like literally like shitting out my will to live. And then like literally no weight change. I did gain weight when I was swung the other way, um, because I just was full of shit. I know we don't talk about poop that much, but it was fun when we do. So basically, so what I'm doing right now is I'm catching up on orders. I've been just kind of like I lost my Crojo for a bit, and like it's kind of been slowly coming back, but I've been trying to really organize my thoughts around what I want to do this year. Because I didn't think about the weight loss. Yeah. Trust me, it's not nearly as much as you think. You're probably more dehydrated than you think. So like the minute that you drink any water, it just gets like soaked back up and then just thrown out the window. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Um, Eating, some soluble fiber helps. I do find that probiotics do help a lot as well. Because it's just not a fun state to be in. So, whatever you got to do to get through it, get through it. Be better on the other side. Don't expect this to be a weight loss regimen. Just I'm telling you right now. So, I have this packer, which is 5 inches in the color cream. And then, oh yeah, I was going to talk about new projects and things coming up. Then I have another packer after this, which is in the color trans stripe. Okay, also 5 inches. Um, so one of the things that I worked on it for a while, and then for some reason I just kind of like completely abandoned the project. I think other things just came in, and I just abandoned the project. Were my tucking panties. Hey Roberta, welcome in. Um, you just missed a very pleasant talk with me, Carrie. But one of the things I want to make is tucking panties. I know not every trans femme and trans woman and just people who have the potential need or want for tucking panties actually uses them, but I wanted them to be an option in my store. So I just have two choices of black fabric that I was going to give a little trizzy try. And then I was going to try to crochet, like, maybe like the front. I think that might work for like a bikini, but I don't think it would be great for like undergarments. Um, and so I think I'm just going to sew those. And see how that works. I'm not quite sure on like sizing, and I have a lot of friends who have the equipment that would be able to tuck, but none of them do tuck, and I don't want to be like, hello, would you mind if I I forced you into doing this thing that's quite uncomfortable just for the sake of me knowing how to make them, even though you have absolutely no reference on how it should feel as like at its peak comfort. I just haven't been able to like ask people that. So I might do like in one of my trans groups, I might be like, hey, like, can someone like try this pattern out and like see how it wears and stuff? And then I wanted to start trying to sew knitted knockers, which would take them out of the knitted knockers range. But I also want to kind of make some modifications to the shape. The reason why I don't really want to crochet knitted knockers, because there is a crochet pattern, but the reason why I didn't want to crochet them is because skin color continues to be a problem. Like, I mean, I have so many more cotton skin tone options now, but it's just so much work to keep up with that stash that I was like, well, what if I like sewed them instead? And there are some patterns available on like Etsy and stuff, but a lot of them are focused on the you were asking about the film. So, oh yes, so like filling is one thing, and then fabric choice is another. So I want to sew them. So I'm thinking I'm thinking that I'm going to use like maybe some like non super stretchy like lycra dancewear, and so it'll be like moisture wicking and it won't be hot and gross, and it'll be easy to wash. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the nipple on that. I'm going to like top stitch all that together or what. But I also like, so like knitted knockers are made very like round. And like the thing about the shape of a natural, most people's natural breasts is like there's actually like a teardrop, kind of like a off center teardrop shape to them. So I really wanted to kind of make um, make a different shape with them. And then I thought if I ordered like a light color lycra, because lycra is um, beads you find in the garden center. Okay, beads you find in the garden center, like the glass beads. Um, or I'm trying to think what other beads would be in the garden center. Other than like the only thing I can think of is like on the macrame like pot plant holders and stuff, which are like wooden beads. I guess like the thing is like I really want these to be like a long-term wear. And so there are some drag secrets for how to fill fake breasts to make them feel a little bit more weighty, a little bit more natural feeling, but like they're not sustainable, and they have to be replaced constantly. So one of those is filling it with rice. And the thing is, as you heat, it's your body heat uh, permeates the the breast. It starts to have moisture in the rice, and then your body heat goes into it, and basically you smell like cooked rice all the time. Some people use beans, but again, we have the same problem where you have that. Now, I know that there's poly pellets out there, and these are just small pellets that can feel like a little bit. They're just a little heavier. Um, Beads that you add to soil, they don't feel like they feel like the water beads, but don't dry out. I don't know about that. I actually don't know quite what you're talking about. So if you could send me a link, that would be awesome. Whether it's Amazon or Walmart or wherever. But like I can't have them stay wet in there. Because I don't want them to get moldy. If they're meant to be added to soil. Hey Jet, welcome in. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna add. Some people suggested fabric scraps, as opposed to polyfill or in addition to polyfill. Thank you, Roberta. I appreciate it. Um, but I mean, I could do that, but I just don't know if that's gonna give it enough weight. Um, One thing I do have that I'm looking at right now is like the plastic bead necklaces from for like Mardi Gras and stuff like that. that might give it a nice little weight, while not being too heavy. It's still washable, um, as long as I make sure it's one of the types. Oh, they're meant to keep the soil aerated. Oh, interesting. I thought they were meant to keep the soil moist. Oh, interesting. I like that. I like that. That's genius. Yeah. So any suggestions are definitely welcome. Um, but I also want to focus on getting the shape right and being able to size up, size down, and then being able to have color variations. So initially I was like, should I do what I do with my cotton packers and I have a bunch of different shades of skin tones? And then I was like, that's a lot of different colored fabric, and kind of the fabric that I'm looking at is kind of like specialty order, or like I'd have to get it shipped to me from like a fabric outlet that carries a lot of dancewear. So I I was like, well, what if I get like a light color, like a cream color, and have that be my lightest shade, and then I have different types, a couple different shades of fabric dye that can dye the synthetic fabric of the lycra, and then I kind of like custom blend a color. I don't know if that's the most practical, like, and like being able to produce consistent results, but I do think it would be a lot cheaper of an option than buying like, because they might have like a minimum of yardage that you have to order per thing. Like, it might be like really difficult to get like a quarter of a yard of like 8 different colors. But if I buy like a yard of one color and then am able to dye it as really as many colors as possible. And then also, if people want to do like, if like drag performers want to do like a, a performance where they're blue or something or whatever, like they could, like I could dye it blue in theory. So like that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that I will dye the fabric. Now the fabric doesn't need to have any stretch, but I'm just like really like, I saw this person who did them in like cotton, and like I don't know what it is like, and maybe someone can explain it to me that has better knowledge of fabric than I do. But whenever I go like to like Joanne or something, and I look at the cotton, it's like it's very stiff. It's not comfortable. I've trouble finding like, if you went to Walmart and you went to buy like a cotton t-shirt, like it would be very soft. It would be very malleable. It would have like a good drape to it. Not that we need drape, but like, it would have like a good drape to it. But like when you go and buy it at the fabric store, it's so stiff. And like, I mean, I guess maybe, hey, Grojo, welcome in. We're trying to figure out the dilemma of sewing a version of knitted knockers. So one is like the color, one is the color options, one is the material, and then one is the weight. Uh, Creating some weight in the breast prosthetic, so that it feels a little bit more natural. It doesn't feel like something that's not part of your, being. And these, I want to make them available in single or pairs. Um, Obviously, pairs would be just, I guess, more ideal for like from a selling standpoint. But I understand that there are people who've had single mastectomies and they just want something that kind of matches. So I think that that would be cool to offer, like, especially if I'm creating like maybe pre-wash the fabric before. So, okay. Yeah, I could try that with some cotton that I have and see if that loosens it up. Now, I do have some, so I can't use scented fabric softeners because they irritate the shit out of my skin. So I wouldn't put anyone else through that just in case they have the same problem. I do have this downy, like, wash additive that you put in your the little spot where you would put fabric softener in your washing machine. Um, so I might add that just to see if that makes a difference. But yeah, I've always found it to be like a little stiff, and I just like I don't know how like what am I like what am I doing wrong? Like has sizing it's in, that's why it's stiff. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't understand. Like when they're like, oh yeah, cotton is so comfortable, and then I go to like the store and like feel up the cotton, and I'm like, it feels terrible. And I wouldn't want to make anything out of it or cut up soft T-shirts. Yeah. See, the problem with that is like just I feel like the price would like catch up to me, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay, I think this is actually 5 inches. I don't I don't think I have a measuring tape at the table right now, which is so annoying, right? Oh, wait. My table is a mess right now. It's so bad. And it's always pretty bad. Yeah. Well, the thing about skin tones and specifically cotton is way easier to dye than like, you can use a lot of different dyes on cotton versus like a lycra or like a synthetic fabric. Cotton is moisture wicking, so it would be really great to be able to use cotton. It's generally cheaper, be easier to dye, all of those things. Um, so like, so I mean, I think if I got like a light like cream color tone in cotton, if it does like ease up and starts being like a little bit more what we traditionally think about for cotton, um, then I mean that sounds awesome. What is this? Oh, it's the tag for this. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so let me measure this. Okay, we're at 4.5 inches. But yeah, so I'm thinking that instead of like buying a bunch of different skin tones of fabric, I would actually probably save money by hand dyeing them to specific skin tones, because then I could not have to for like $10 and you can dye them. I mean that's a good point. Yeah, especially at like Walmart. Hmm. Yeah, like I really prefer to be able to buy fabric, um, just because I feel like there would be a lot of waste from the shirts. Granted, I could use that to pack the 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 knocker, and that could create some weight to it. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I buy most of my clothes at Walmart. They're great. So yeah, I love Walmart clothes. But I think I have some cotton from um I wanted to put "Bye, Ian." Just, like, show up and be like, "Bye, Ian." Hey, Zach, welcome in. So I have some cotton, so I could just check to see if that washes and, like, wears well. Also, like, I wanna make sure that the dye does not fade significantly from multiple washes. Um, So I think it would be a stronger hold in a natural fiber like cotton rather than a synthetic hold, even though or a synthetic fabric like lycra. Well, it's technically like a blend, right? Because it's part cotton, part polyester, I guess. I don't know. It's part unnatural fabric, yeah, or whatever. So so yeah, so let's see. Um, Cheyenne be like, bye. I'd be like, Zach, where'd you come from? And bye, but like, that's I was like, I'd be like, totally missed when you came in the room, but I'm happy that you're here regardless. And so yeah, so this is my first live in a while. Um, My lungs are feeling a little bit better, although it does feel like someone is like using my guts as like a punching bag. Now, if you are unfamiliar as to what's been going on with me physically and mentally, the physical part is that I had my gallbladder removed in an emergency surgery on the 28th of December. And then 4 days later, as my gallbladder pain was like so ridiculous before going in, and I had no idea what gallbladder pain was even supposed to be like. So I had no like thoughts about how bad it would be, or like I thought maybe it was appendicitis and I didn't want my appendix to burst. So I went to the ER, which I try not to overuse if possible, but you gotta go, right? And um, so I went, and immediately they were like, "Yeah, your gallbladder has like a million stones in it." And I asked them to keep my gallbladder. I asked them to keep the stones, and nobody kept anything. I was like, "Or take a picture for me, or something." And they're like, "Oh yeah, a picture will be in your chart." It was not. I wanted to see what I was working with. So, um, so as the gallbladder pain kind of started to decrease, I started having increased symptoms of shortness of breath, and it started from feeling like so I have an incision like right here, um, and so it's right above my diaphragm, and so yeah, exactly. I'm like, show me the goods, show me what I earned, okay. I earned it honestly, so show me the goods. Um, but uh, they did not show me, but they did describe it in their notes. So I got like kind of a picture, and I did a lot of research afterwards after I knew that it was my gallbladder, because like apparently you have different types of gallstones and like all kinds of stuff. So at first I thought the shortness of breath was partly caused by my keep it in jars as a souvenir. I know, make a necklace out of it. I don't know. Make a tiara. I don't give a shit. Like, when I got my wisdom teeth removed, like I got to keep those, and my mom is a dentist, so like this makes sense. But my mom literally had a jar of teeth that she would like when new techniques and stuff would come out, she would literally like try the new techniques on the teeth that were out. Hey Lydia, welcome in. So my teeth were in that jar. So I was like, give me the stones. But anyways, no such luck for me. But anywho, so I thought that maybe my shortness of breath was caused by this incision right here. I have 5 total. Um, and I thought maybe it was because the incision is right above my diaphragm, which expands and contracts, I guess, as you breathe. So I thought, okay, maybe the shortness of breath is related to the incision site and it moving when I breathe. And also your lungs expand, contract, that kind of thing. Turns out not the case. The breathing thing got worse, and and it got so bad that I was having like severe shortness of breath about 4 days after my surgery. So we went back to the ER, And it turns out, so first they checked for a blood clot in my lungs, which luckily I did not have. But I did have, both of my lungs are partially collapsed, which I'm doing respiratory therapy with my little spirometer, which, I mean, you can't tell me that sucking on this thing doesn't give you some kind of connotation about something, right? But anywho, so I'm working on that, working on kind of like re-expanding my lungs to full capacity. But like I lose a lot of steam throughout the day, throughout just any activities, and then I just have been like, the fatigue has been like next level. So we're just trying to make it through. So I haven't really been on live because I just don't really know how it looks like a penis. No need to apologize. When I blow into it or suck it, I literally have to suck it. I'm just like, this is what the future is like. Yeah. I'm getting better. This is the first day in a while that I've not like been just totally incapacitated. I was able to go and drive to the store. I'm out of pain meds, so I'm able to drive just with that aspect. But I still feel terrible. And then I have to take a lot more naps and sleep a lot longer and stuff like that. I hear you, the right, you got your gallbladder business. Yeah. So it's just, yeah, my gallbladder is no more. So every time I would, like, when I went to the hospital the second time, I was like, I hope I come back with the same number of organs I left with. Like, bad joke, but at least the gallbladder is one of those things in your body, like your appendix, that you don't absolutely need. So I wasn't like, it wasn't an organ that I needed to be put on a transplant list for. Like, I'm very fortunate for that. The gallbladder does serve a function, unlike the appendix, which I don't think they know really what it does, or maybe it does something, I don't know. But it's like you can live totally fine without it. The gallbladder, however, is important in the digestion of food, especially high cholesterol, high fat foods. So it's important that I kind of change my diet to be lower cholesterol, so that I can digest food easier, and all that stuff. Also, I mean, the stones that they did find, it looked like it was calcified cholesterol, so it looks like my diet wasn't really doing me a lot of favors beforehand. So I'm 32. I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. So I kind of was looking for a sign that my body was going in the wrong direction. I think I got it. When I did, I was so sick. Yeah, gallbladders, I mean, they can act up. And I've heard from a lot of people who've had gallbladder pain that they say it's very intense. Mine was very intense. Like, the first time I had gallbladder pain, I thought it was a reaction from my medicine, because I didn't know any better, and it started literally right after. Um, I took my medicine. I started a new medicine, and I was at like a 9 out of 10 on the pain scale, and I don't use that lightly. I'm not like, I'm at a 9, and like I have like a little tummy ache. Like, I was like, the only thing that could hurt worse is if someone took a knife or a scalpel and just literally cut me open without anesthesia. I was like, that's the only thing that could hurt worse. So it was like, I felt like the 9 was a warranted number to put in the ranking. And then the second time my gallbladder acted up, it was like at an 8, and I was like, I gotta go to the hospital. I was like, this is not normal. And I was like, I need to make sure that something's not about to explode or fucking something. Which, I mean, I don't really know. I guess you can have a gallbladder burst, but I don't think that's very common. I think it just gets clogged and irritated, potentially infected, that kind of thing, which of course can be deadly, but like it's not like an appendix which like will explode and and leak toxins into the rest of your body. The 30s Club, yeah, it sucks. 30s Club is not fun. Your body will start falling apart right in front of your face. I suggest if you're planning on making any changes once you get into 30s Club, I would suggest starting already because everything's about to hurt. Get comfortable shoes, all that shit. So yeah. So, anywho, so that's kind of like my medical update. Um, yeah, I'm not really on any pain medicine anymore. It's more so like, wait, the 50s Club. Yeah, I mean, I'm falling apart at right before I had my surgery. Yeah, I had 2 attacks before my surgery, and it was like I was delirious in pain. Delirious. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I know it's only it's only downhill from here, but I think it was the wake up call that I needed to start taking some better care of my body. I don't have to make any severe changes right now, but I do need to start being a little bit more conscious about what I eat. You're 51, Lydia? No way. I would not have guessed that at all. I'm always surprised, like, because you all are so, like, fresh-faced and, like, young-looking. I feel like I, like, well, the acne keeps me young, right? The acne makes me look younger than I am, I think, because it makes me look like I'm still going through some kind of puberty, which I am. But, the puberty that never fucking ends. But, like, also, like, I just feel like, it's like, it's kind of like when you move the dial of like when you're younger and you stop getting ID for like alcohol or stuff like that. Like you just people stop IDing you. They're like, we know, we know. It's just another stage in the beautiful circle of life. Um, but yeah, so it just made me kind of reevaluate, what I'm doing. Honestly, like, although the gallbladder and the gallstones like hurt so much, um, I am glad that I found out that my body was not doing well with the amount of. The thing is, I've had tons of blood tests, and like all my cholesterol readings have been like fine. Like they haven't been like, wow, you don't eat any cholesterol, but like they've been like reasonable. So it's actually pretty surprising that I had this happen. But I do have a family history of heart disease, as I know many people do. And so it's important that I know now that I need to lower my cholesterol than like once I have plaque buildup in my, arteries and, have like a, stroke or something. Um, so, I'll take it for the blessing that, whatever blessing I can see it as, because it could have been a lot worse. Like I said, this is an organ that does not need to be replaced. Um, it's kind of like an accessory organ, if that makes sense. So if you don't know what the gallbladder does, I've done a little bit of research. I'm no expert, but like this is kind of what it does. So like basically, so like as you're processing food, especially like fatty foods, your liver produces bile, and that bile helps break down those like clumps of cholesterol into something that can be processed more easily by your body. Um, and pulled less up into your bloodstream. And so when you're eating a particularly fatty or high cholesterol meal, what your gallbladder does when it's functioning properly is it's kind of a storage unit for additional bile. So if you need some extra bile because you ate like a really high fat food or something like that, the gallbladder contracts and then it will squeeze out extra bile to help process those clumps of cholesterol into more digestible things. But when you, for whatever reason, somehow cholesterol gets backed up in there, you can get calcified cholesterol. So they said one of the gallstones, the biggest gallstone they took out of me was about the size of a golf ball, I think is what my wife said. And like it, okay, thanks for coming in, Laura. It's great to see you. Um, but yeah, so I'm glad to not have that uh, dealing with that anymore. But I do have to reevaluate my diet to make sure that I'm taking care of my body and not, because it like I've had some meals where like it's been higher cholesterol since, and like it is quite uncomfortable trying to process that, and then you want to make sure your your body can can take it. Okay. Um, but yeah, also the market bag that I was making, I got about this far. This is the width, and this is like how far I got. I'm about 6 inches in before I realized that I was missing a stitch every row. So it started to slowly slant in, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I had to frog it all. So I literally have like the frames like in front of me, and I'm working over them with this cotton. And it's just it feels quite silly. But I can't like pick them up, otherwise they will be like impossible to detangle. So I'm just trying to like not disturb them and let sleeping dogs lie. So I'm about halfway through this row, and I'm going to take a step back to stuff it more. Towards the end of a packer, especially if it's medium to full, medium to heavy stuffing, is I like to kind of pack it a couple times because it helps give it like a uh, is this concave or is it convex? Convex is like, wait, no, concave is like this. So it's a convex. Okay, yeah, so it gives it a convex shape. Oh, you have snow. Yeah, we definitely do not have snow here. It's in the 60s right now. Although we are about to get some storms. Actually, they should be rolling in any second now. They might be here now. Some pretty bad storms. So we are going to be buckled down for that. I know there were some tornadoes in Florida and Alabama, but I think for that, I haven't heard anything about that here yet. So we will stay protected. We're on the bottom floor as I live in my parents' basement. So, that's the best place to be when you are, facing uh, tornadoes and such. Uh, but yeah, so I've been like, my temperature's been all over the place kind of before, during, and after my surgery. So I've been kind of trying to adapt as best I can just by dressing the parts. Sometimes, like, last night it was freezing, and then sometimes I'm like hot and like walking around just like buck ass naked because I am too hot for this. Okay. So you kind of want to make sure that you don't pull the stuffing through, even though you're trying to keep it pretty packed. So it's kind of a balancing act of trying to keep your tension correct. Actually, I'm gonna try doing a yarn under because I have heard that they are better for reducing gaps. Okay, so if I was doing a yarn over, I go like this. I'm doing a yarn under and coming in like that. Yes. Yarn over, yarn under. I literally have to this doesn't want to pull through. What am I doing wrong? Okay. But yeah, I'm just gonna give that a try and see if that works on kind of closing those holes a little bit more in the decreases so that it doesn't show as much polyfill coming through. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so this will be yarn over, so this will be yarn under. It feels so unnatural. I'm like, I'm not doing this right. Well, they're not 100%. Oh, I'm so sorry. This suck. Yeah. I know about that sick life. I don't think anyone's having fun these days. Okay, so now I'm gonna just keep on doing decreases this entire round and hope that that will um, close up the tip. And then, wait, that's not what I want to do. Okay, yarn under, pull through, under. It's just like, I'm like, not sure I'm doing it right, but that's okay. I mean, that I will definitely say that that's a big difference in the gaps that I normally see. So that's good. Um, so you want to make sure that you're not adding excess stitches to the top because otherwise you get this kind of like weird shape to it. So I might stop there. And like if you notice, it looks just like a little kind of club, but that's because I put a lot of fall in your ass because I see out. Yeah, you gotta be careful in the slippery weather. So I haven't done live for my channel. Yeah, this is my first live in a while, so I understand. I don't know where anyways. Well, I know some snippies are in there, but I don't know where my other snippies are. And then I'm gonna take like another hook from one of these clovers because they're a lot easier to sew in my ends with. And I'm just gonna kind of weave in and out of the stitches around, and then I'm gonna cinch it. Now you want to also make sure when you cinch, you don't get like a butthole, basically. So that's why you want to kind of just take it easy with your cinching and your pulling, because that's not really what things look like. But yeah, so let's see. So I'm gonna start pulling it through different angles, trying to keep it looking as organic as possible. Try to blend the stitches out a little bit and close up that top. You have seen me probably make all 1,000 edit movement to take out recycling. Yep. But we will be here to support you in spirit. I don't know what help that is, but if it's any help, we'll do it. My voice got all scratchy all of a sudden. I guess I've been on for like 50 minutes, so this is like way longer than I'm used to talking lately. So I'm gonna use this hook to also do the ridge of the head. So I'm just doing a top stitch, single crochet around the head to, and it's easier to do this with a metal hook than to do it with your candy shop hook if you use one like I do. I'm thinking of ordering a new hook, like from Etsy or something, that has an ergonomic handle, but kind of like a clover style head. Because a lot of the hooks I've seen, they use either a Boy or Susan Bates head. I don't really like either of those that much. Like, I'd rather go with a Boy, but I still don't really like love them. I'd rather go with like a clover style. Um, head. So this one seems to have it, and it's like, I want to say like 15 or 20 bucks, which is, like a little bit to spend on a hook for sure, but I'm using this size so much, and I'm just terrified that I'm gonna just snap the top off of this, and I won't be able to get a new one because Furls doesn't sell them anymore. I know, sad, sad news. Tough life. You don't gotta tell me twice. But I do need an ergonomic hook to make these because they're kind of hard on the hands just because of um, how close all your stitches are, and the cotton can be a little stiff. Okay, so next, after we've done the head, is the tab. The tab is a crucially important part of the packer. You got about 6 inches so far. We're gonna get more snow Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wow. Yeah, I think that 6 inches is probably more than North Carolina, at least where I live in North Carolina, will get in the next 10 years. Maybe it's just about that much. We do get snowstorms like once every 5 or 10 years, but the thing is, like, because our temperature isn't as like consistently cold, things tend to melt a lot faster, and so it's like it'll melt and become ice. And so you're not really dealing with snow, you're more so dealing with ice. And that's really where the problem lies. And a lot of people who live here now have relocated from colder climates. So they drive like they would in, the area that they come from. And they don't realize that, like, this snow and ice is different than a lot of other snow and ice. Also, they do something really stupid to the roads here, where instead of just salting the roads like literally everywhere else, they do a saline spray. So it's salt mixed with water. And so it freezes so much harder and lasts so much longer than if they had just salted the roads like everybody else does. But no, it's interesting for sure. It's an interesting tactic. Okay, so I do 7 double crochets at the area of the tab, and then I do 2 chains, and then I turn, and then I go in and do 7 doubles on top. I kind of wish I lived in a snowier place, like when my older sister lived in Washington State. I really loved the snow there because like everyone was really equipped to like deal with the snow, like, and so it just made it a lot easier to be there and like driving if you had to. But like still, it still wasn't like super easy, especially because like if once you get outside of Seattle, like into, because Seattle's kind of been like a bowl surrounded by mountains. So then once you started getting up to the mountains, like that's where you got a lot more snow and a lot more problems with driving in the snow. But I don't really know anything about driving in the snow, if I'm being honest. Um, I haven't done it much, and I try to avoid it when possible. What's your favorite thing to do on a snow day or when it snows? Like, do you like to make hot cocoa? Do you like to stay inside and like, watch movies? Because here in, if it snows at all, it's a snow day and the whole state shut down. Like, it's so like hilarious, but also like I was saying about the roads and how they're treated, it's not good to get out. You just need to stay in as much as possible. So, so yeah, so if you do have a snow day or something like that, what do you like to do? I just love like watching movies. If we have power, we do tend to lose power again because of the ice on the power lines. But but if we can keep power, then I like to just relax, have some hot cocoa, hang out with my wife. Although she works virtual, so like if there's power, then she's working, stay in, watch movies, and crochet. That is the life, isn't it? Can't complain about that, can you? Okay, so I'm just sewing in my ends, making sure they're nice and secure. Sometimes you'll pull a little bit of polyfill through. With that, I just kind of like to keep picking at the polyfill until it stops coming. And then for all of these loose ends, I'll pull a little tight before I cut so that when they relax, they'll be inside the project. This. Okay. And then stitch markers out, and then that is the completed packer. So I'm gonna go. I know I have another packer to do. What color was it in? Oh, it's tram stripe. Okay, well, the stripe ones are always more annoying, if I'm being honest. Like, I like that I'm able to do it. I wish I could find some, like, trans-colored cotton, but I cannot. I've looked and looked and looked, and I cannot find any. So, still in your PJs. That's nice. I, too, am in my PJs. I have Beetlejuice PJs. So, I'm gonna let you all go. Thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing well. And I hope you continue to do well. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.